بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا ومن يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. وقال الله تعالى: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. وقال الله تعالى: أولم يرى الذين كفروا أن السماوات والأرض رتقا ففتقناهما وجعلنا من الماء كل شيء حي فلا يؤمنون. وقال الله تعالى: سبحان الذي خلق الأزواج كلها مما تنبت الأرض ومن أنفسهم ومما لا يعلمون. وقال الله تعالى: والشمس تجري لمستقر لها ذلك تقدير العزيز العليم. والقمر قدرناه منازل حتى عاد كالعرجون القديم. لا الشمس ينبغي لها ولا القمر كل في فلك يسبحون. وقال الله تعالى: أفي الله الشك فاتر السماوات والأرض. Our topic for tonight, the Quran, Islam and Science. The science is a topic here. We talk about science in relation with Quran and Islam. Anybody knows the meaning of science here? Anybody knows the meaning of science? What's the meaning of science? Wait, let them answer inshallah. The meaning of science. Yes, Sumeli. Badi? Okay, anybody else? Move forward. Don't be far. It's barakah. If we join together, there is barakah from Allah. The meaning of science, literal meaning of science. This is an English word which came from Latin word scientia. And the meaning of scientia is a knowledge, kalaman. So science is not only the physics, chemistry and biology, even the economics is a science. Geography is a science. History is a science also. Even you learn a language, that's also science, because the meaning of science is a knowledge, kalaman. And the biggest source of the knowledge, all the source of the knowledge is Allah. Allah is all the source of knowledge. Allah give all the knowledge. Allah give the knowledge in the human being, the first to Adam alayhi salam. By saying in the Quran, وَعَلَّمَ آدَمَ الْأَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا. And we teach Adam all the names. All the names. In all the names of the heaven, the earth, the planet, the star, the moon, the sun, the animals, the birds, the fish, the sea, the mountains. This is science. When Allah teaches the names to Adam alayhi salam, that is the science. The first scientist was Prophet Adam alayhi salam. He was the first scientist. First human being scientist. Prophet Adam alayhi salam. Allah said in the Quran, وَعَلَّمَ آدَمَ الْأَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا. We teach to Adam all the names. Asma'a kullaha, all the names. And of course, included the first, Allah must teach Adam alayhi salam his names. If a person, he knows all the names in the world, all the things he knows the name, all the creation he knows the name. But if he doesn't know the name of Allah, he is a jahil, he is illiterate. If he doesn't know the name of the person who created you, who gave you the life, but you know the names of the heavens and earth and planets and mountains and ocean and the animals and the human beings, but you don't know the name of your creator. What you are now, you are not a scientist, you are jahil. You are illiterate. You are ignorant. That's why those big scientists in the world today, they doesn't recognize the creator. They don't know who is the creator. And even some of them, they reject the creator. They say there is no God. They are not scientists. They are jahil. They are illiterate. They are ignorant. Because if you don't know your creator, and if you know everything in the world, it is useless. So the biggest science is to know Allah. Pinakamalaking science is to know Allah. You know Allah, that is the biggest science. There is no bigger science than to knowing your creator. That's the biggest science. And the biggest source of the science today in this world, for us, what is the biggest source of science for us in the world today? Anybody can answer? In this world, sa mundo na ito, what is the biggest source of the science today for us? The Quran. The Quran is the biggest source of science. That's why we have a topic here. The Quran, Islam and the science. The Quran is the biggest source of science. In fact, the modern science today was born after the Quran. If you go and check and research, all this modern science today, for example, the physics, the chemistry, the biology, zoology, botany, history, geography, navigation, economics, political science, whatever the things you want to name, go and check who introduced all those sciences. The first ever person who gave the concepts about the physics, about the light, who gave the structure of our eye, His name was Abdul Razzaq, a Muslim scientist. More than 1,000 years ago, he introduced all those concepts of physics. He was known as the father of physics, but today hiding. Whenever they see the Muslim name, they break out from the books. They don't want to tell people that the Muslims were the founder of the modern science. The chemistry. The person who was known as the father of chemistry, he was a Muslim scientist. His name was Jabir bin Hayyan. They changed his name Geber. You don't know who is Geber, but his name was Jabir bin Hayyan. But if you go in Europe, in America, in the books, they changed the name to Geber. So you cannot recognize he is Muslim. His name was Jabir bin Hayyan. But in the books in Europe and America today, they changed it Geber. In the field of the biology, one of the great scientists was Ibn Sina. For more than 1,000 years ago, he wrote about the anatomy, the complete body anatomy of a human being. And he has so many other fields of science, which he was expert. Ar-Razi, the surgeon, who was known as the father of surgery, who introduced the 200 surgical instruments 1,000 years ago in Spain, in Muslim Spain, which is still using today all around the world, in the hospitals. But who introduced those surgical equipments? More than 200 equipments, surgical equipment, is still using today in the modern world. But it was introduced by Qasim al-Razi 1,000 years ago in a Muslim Spain. But nobody recognized, nobody wants to speak about that. Jabir bin Hayyan, the father of the chemistry, well known as father of chemistry, he produces more than 200 chemicals 1,000 years ago. More than 200 chemicals, including the 3 strongest acids: nitric acid, sulfuric acid, hydrochloric acid. Without that, there is no laboratory. In every laboratory, you need these 3 acids: sulfuric acid, nitric acid, and hydrochloric acid. And many more chemicals were innovated by Jabir bin Hayyan. The first person who made the map, the atlas, the world map, was Al-Drusi, a Muslim scientist, Al-Drusi. The person who go all around the world, hundreds of years ago, his name was Ibn Battuta. The first ever person who fly physically, which we know today in the West, they say Wright brothers who make the airplane. But it is not true. It's not true. A man in Baghdad, 1,000 years ago, he fly physically with the wings put on his body. And he fly and he show to the people, the men can fly, the men can make airplane. 1,000 years ago, a man, a Muslim, Al-Firdausi, he flown in Baghdad from the big minaret, he jumped with the wings and he fly. And while he was landing, he damaged his bones. His ribs were broken. His legs were broken. Why? Because he was not able to put the tail. Because you need the tail for landing. And he admitted that he was able to fly, but he made a mistake and he gave the idea to the world that whenever you make an airplane, you should put the tail so you can land. Because if you have no tail, you cannot land. Because you need the tail to control the air so you can easily land. That was Al-Firdausi. If I'm going to speak for these scientists now, and there are thousands of Muslim scientists which are covered up. They cover up, they steal their knowledge. The West, the Europe and America, they stolen the knowledge from the Muslim scientists and they removed their names. And they say that's our knowledge. And if you go and check today, if you can research, you can get all those names. There are thousands of scientists who were the pioneer, who were the founder of this modern science. And they were bringing the science in the right direction. But when it comes to the wrong hands, the science is destructive today. The science is as much as destructive that we all human beings, nearly 7 billion human beings, we can be killed in 1 hour. We can be killed in 1 hour. There are thousands of atomic bombs, nuclear bombs, hydrogen bombs, chemical weapons, biological weapons, anthrax, nerve gas. There are the There are the biological weapons. If you spray it in a human civilization, in human population, the millions of people will get the diseases like cancer. The millions of people, they can be suffocated, stop breathing because of those chemicals. The skin can destroy, the brain can be damaged, the heart can be stopped beating with those chemicals. And you can finish this world, all the population in the world, less than 1 hour. So that's not the right sign. What is the purpose of making those bombs and those weapons? To dominate the world and steal their wealth and kill the people, innocent people. And if you call it a progress, then you must go to the mental hospital. That's not the progress. That is a destruction. But when the Muslims were scientists, they were productive, they were progressive, not destructive. You can have a limited use of the weapons to bring the peace in the world, but not to destroy the world. And now they are even planning, in a near future, they are even planning for a Star Wars. So they can wage the war in the space. Now our topic is in relation to the Quran. As yesterday in the Khutbah al-Jum'ah, I focus on one of the ayah of the Quran, which is a beautiful ayah, which I read in starting, which is from Surah Al-Anbiya. The meaning of Al-Anbiya is a plural of Nabi. Nabi is a prophet. Anbiya is the prophets. Nabi is the who give the news. Because Nabi comes from Naba. Naba is a news. There is a surah in the Quran, Surah Al-Naba. Amma yatasaaluna 'anil naba'il 'azim. Talking about the great news. What is the great news? The hereafter, the next life, the end of the world, and then we will be alive again. So Nabi always meaning the one who give the news, who receive the news from Allah and give to us. And the Prophet Muhammad was Nabi, the Prophet. He received the news, which is the Quran, and he gave it to us. And whatever is said, which we call the Hadith, the plural is Hadith. Whatever is said, it is not the separate entity. The Hadith is only explanation of the Quran. Nothing more than that. You cannot bring the Quran and Hadith separate, no. Or you cannot say, I will just follow Quran, not Hadith. Or you cannot say, I just follow Hadith and cannot Quran, no. The Quran is the book of Allah, and the Hadith of the Prophet Muhammad is only explanation. Kahulugan. Explanation of the Quran is Hadith. And this book of news, the Quran, which is the book of knowledge, the purpose of that is guidance. It's a guidance. It's a book of guidance. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, the last part of ayah, which I read from Surah Ibrahim, Surah number 14, ayah number 10. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, in a beautiful way, Afi Allahu shakkun fatiru samawati wal ard. Do you have a doubt in Allah? Do you have a doubt about Allah? Do you have a doubt in Allah, the creator, the originator of the heavens and the earth? That's the way of Quran, the beautiful way of Quran, challenging way. Initiating people, thinking, giving the thoughts to the people. Then do you doubt about Allah, who created this universe? Do you have a doubt about that? And if you have a doubt about that, then you should not be a normal human being. This big universe, as I said yesterday, if you want to measure our universe which we can see, we're not talking about the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh heaven. The seventh is kind of only the first heaven on which we are under. The heavens and the earth, and all the planets and the stars, the sun and the moon. This comprises our universe. And we are just living in one planet Earth, which is in one galaxy, which is Milky Way galaxy, suggested by the scientists. It's not the actual name, but these are scientists, they use the name Milky Way galaxy. Because our galaxy is look like milk. Milky Way. It's a way look like milky. So they suggested the name Milky Way galaxy. And our planet is Earth. And again this earth, in the English word earth, that comes from Arabic word which is in the Quran, Arab. In Arabic language, the earth, the lupa, the earth. In Arabic language, its name is Arab. Alif, Ra, Dha, Arab. And earth is changed in the English, earth. But this earth is coming from Arabic word, Arab. Like everything is hidden now. For example, when we learn in the school, in the colleges, we learn the kind of mathematics which is algebra. Algebra is one of the kind of mathematics for counting. And algebra is name of a Muslim scientist. Algebra is the name of a Muslim scientist. Algebra. And there are many more mathematicians which I was not able to speak earlier, which I will speak on the end, inshallah. So the scientists, they say that this universe is a very big universe. And you have no other way to measure it except only one way to measure it, because it's very big. If you want a square meter, nothing. If you want a square kilometer, nothing. The architect is here. He knows the square kilometer, square mile, square meter, nothing. Even the square hectare, nothing. Square kilometer, square mile, nothing. If you want to measure the universe, you have to measure in light year. Light year. What is a light year? For example, if you travel from Manila and you want to go to America, and if you travel with the speed of light, you know how long it takes to you to reach to America from Manila? You will reach there less than a second. Wala pa isang segundo. If you travel with the speed of light, you can reach to America 10,000 kilometers away from here. You will reach there less than 1 second. Wala pa isang segundo. That is the speed of light. 186,000 kilometers per second. The fastest airplane today in the world, the Concorde, is around 1,000 kilometers per hour. 1,000 kilometers per hour. Usually the airplane fly with the speed of 700 to 800 kilometers per hour only. The maximum speed of the car in Manila maybe. There is no such big highways. Like I see from Medina to Makkah, those Bedouins, they drive 260 kilometers per hour. 260 kilometers per hour, terrible. You can call it suicide mission. You can die anytime. One break and you will be going out of the highway. 260 kilometers per hour. Here Manila 120, 150, 180, maybe 200 maximum. But the speed of the light is 186,000 kilometers per second. And if you have a space shuttle flying with a speed of 186,000 kilometers per second, and if you travel one corner of the universe, and you will reach to the other corner of the universe, then you have to travel for 9 billion years. You will have to travel for 9 billion years to reach to the another corner of the universe. Can you imagine this kind of estimate? The pure speed of your shuttle is from the one corner of the universe, and you want to reach to the other corner. And you will need 9 billion years to travel. That is very amazing. What kind of universe is this? That you are traveling with the speed of light, which is 186,000 kilometers per second. And you need to travel for 9,000 million years. 9,000 million years. Siyam libong milyon. Siyam libong milyon taon. That is estimate for universe. That's how big is the universe. And Allah is saying, Afi Allahu shak, fatir samawati wal ard, Do you have a doubt about Allah, originator of the heavens and the earth? Do you have a doubt about Allah that there is no creator for this giant universe, in which there are more than 300 billion galaxies? Among our galaxies, Milky Way galaxy, 300 billion galaxies, Galaxia. In every galaxy, there are more than 300 billion stars. 300 billion stars. And there are stars which are millions of times bigger than our earth. Millions of times bigger than our earth. If all of us in the world today, if only one assignment, just to count the stars. Get the telescope, count the stars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We need millions of years only to count the stars. Our life, 60, 70, 80 years is nothing. If you have a millions of years of life, we can finish to count the stars only. That's how big is the universe. 300 billion stars in one planet, in one galaxy, and there are more than 300 billion galaxies. How big this universe is. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is challenging and giving a thought to the people that, do you have a doubt about Allah, the originator of the heavens and earth? Heavens and earth meaning is universe in the scientific terminology. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Al-Anbiya, ayah number 30, Surah number 21, the prophets. أَوَلَمْ يَرَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا أَنَّ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ رَتْقًا فَفَتَقْنَاهُمَا وَجَعَلْنَا مِنَ الْمَاءِ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ حَيٍّ أَفَلَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. Did not the disbelievers see that the heavens and earth were joined together? The universe was one mass. Ratqan, joined together like sewing, like tying. Joined together, all the universe were joined together. Need expansion now. فَفَتَقْنَاهُمَا, we split them asunder. So the expansion was started. And keep on expanding and expanding and expanding, which was billions of years ago. فَفَتَقْنَاهُمَا, so we split them asunder. وَجَعَلْنَا مِنَ الْمَاءِ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ حَيٍّ, and from the water we bring out the life. أَفَلَا يُؤْمِنُونَ, then they will not believe. When Allah is giving you in one ayah of Quran, only one ayah, few words, Allah is giving you the two concepts here, the two greatest facts of life, of the universe. The one is the origin of universe. The another fact is the origin of life, and which is the research of the modern science today. 100 years ago, there was the theory introduced to the world by the scientists, which was known as the Big Bang theory. And according to the Big Bang theory, and before the Big Bang theory, the scientists were believing that this universe is infinite. That was the idea of one of the scientists named Aristotle, which was thousands of years ago. Even before the time of Prophet Jesus, Aristotle was living. And this scientist named Aristotle actually was a philosopher. He was not giving the ideas about physics more, or chemistry or biology, but he was giving more idea about the philosophy, about the social sciences. And one of his idea was that the universe is infinite, because he sees the universe is big, so he suggested the universe has no beginning. But in fact, all the material things has a beginning. All the creation has a beginning. There is no beginning only for one, and He is Allah. No beginning. Beside Allah, everything has a start, and everything has an end. Allah has no start, and Allah has no end. And that is the science that the scientist must know. If the scientist doesn't know this fact, this knowledge, this science, then they are not supposed to be called scientists, because that's the biggest fact, that there is only one. There is only one. there is only one who has no starting and who has no end, and He is Allah. See Allah, walang umpisa, walang katapusan. That's the biggest science. If you don't know this science, that you have a creator who created you from nothing, and who has no start and who has no end. That's the science. Because meaning of science is knowledge, and if you doesn't know about your creator, then all your knowledge are useless. All your knowledges are useless. So, until the time the Big Bang Theory was introduced, the scientists used to believe that this universe was not created. That many of the scientists, not all, but there are many scientists who are believers, even before and even today. The scientists, many of the scientists, they believe that the universe has no beginning. Why? Because of the idea of the Aristotle, who suggested, who gave the theory that the universe has no beginning. And he suggested, and he gave the theory, the universe is infinite, which is shirk, which is making equal to Allah. Better move forward and don't speak. Move forward. Until the Big Bang Theory, the many of the scientists, they were believing that our universe has no beginning. It is forever. Walang umpisa. That is wrong. That is shirk. Why it is shirk? Because it's an attribute of Allah. It is the sifat of Allah. That Allah is only without the beginning. If you say this universe is without the beginning, you make universe equal to Allah. Even though the Aristotle was believing in God. He said he believed in God. But he believed the God with less power, and he believed the God has nothing to do with this our universe. And he also believed that this universe is forever, no starting. So in that case, Aristotle was a mushrik. If he gave this theory, then he was committing shirk. He was making someone equal to Allah, because that's the attribute of Allah, that He has no beginning. If you say universe has no beginning, now you make Allah and universe equal. Because beside Allah, everyone has beginning. Allah has no beginning, and Allah has no end. Beside Allah, everyone has end. Allah said in the Quran, "Kullu man alayha fan." Everyone on the earth, everyone in the universe, everyone which Allah created will going to be perished. وَيَبْقَ وَجْهُ رَبِّكَ ذُو الْجَلَالِ وَالْإِكْرَامِ. Only Allah will remain. So Allah is without the start and Allah is without the end. But in the starting of the 20th century, in the first decade of 19th century, there was a theory was introduced by a group of scientists, which was known as the Big Bang Theory. And the Big Bang Theory was produced and was given to the world with the claim that this theory is right, and nobody can challenge it yet. Because in the science, you have to challenge and you have to prove wrong the theory. If you cannot prove it wrong, then it will be considered as a fact. Like the Darwin theory was rejected completely, especially because of the DNA, the invention of discovery of DNA, and many other things like protein, and the structure of the human cell, or many more other things, and especially the fossils. There were millions of fossils were collected of the different animals. Even those fossils were millions of years old, and there was no transitory period there. There was no transitory forms there. Even the millions of years old shark, and today's shark is same. So there was no changing. There was no evolution among the animals. So fossils was one of the proof to reject the Darwin theory. But the Big Bang theory was not rejected until today. In fact, the base of the Big Bang theory, which they claim that they are the one who introduced to the world, is actually mentioned in the Quran 1400 years ago, where Allah is saying, did not the disbelievers see the heavens and earth were joined together, then we split them asunder. We make it separated. And that's the start of the universe. And what the Big Bang theory says, that the billions of years ago, there was a mass. And And this Mars was exploded by an explosion. Bang! And then the start of the universe, the heavens and the earth, and the planet and the star, the sun and the moon. And since the time it is expanding, especially by the Hubble telescope, by Edwin Hubble, who made this telescope, and he was able to see the expansion. I don't know, he might steal from the Quran. Because the scientists, even today and even in the past, they were stealing the ideas from the Quran, and they put their labels. Because they can get all the ideas from the Quran. Because the Quran is the book from the Creator. The book from the Creator, and he writes everything there in this book. So, according to the Hubble telescope, our universe is expanding, keeps on expanding, like a balloon. Now the Quran also speaks about that, even before the innovation of Hubble telescope. It's mentioned in the Quran, we created the heavens with the might, and we are expanding it. Inna la musi'un. We are expanding it. So our universe is expanding since the time of creation. Since Allah created this universe, the universe is expanding. Keep on expanding. Until the time when Allah will have a decision to end of the world, this will destroy. Our solar system will destroy. Our earth will be destroyed. And how long Allah will? Then Allah will recreate everything. Allah will bring us out from the earth, and that will be the day of Qiyamah. That will be the Yawmul Qiyamah. Yawmul Qiyamah. Anyone can give the exact meaning of Yawmul Qiyamah? Yawmul Qiyamah. Yawmul Qiyamah. Yes, brother. Yes. Yawmul Qiyamah is day of standing, because Qiyamah is Qiyam, standing. Can you imagine 50,000 years if you are a disbeliever or if you are a sinner, and you have to stand up on your feet for 50,000 years, waiting for the judgment, waiting for the accounting. And 50,000 years you are standing. If you go to the electric bill, Miralpo, only 1 hour, nahin isna. You will go. I don't like to pay anymore. I cannot stand up 1 hour, it's too much. For me, myself, I cannot stand in the pillar, in the queue. I don't like. It's very boring to stand in the line, in the queue. It's very boring. The more worse if you go to the American embassy, 2 o'clock in the morning, the people already line up. I never see the people in the world like the people in the Philippines. They are very patient. They stand up in the lines even for 4, 5, 6, 7 hours. I can call them, the people here feel as specialists. They can stand up in the queue. I don't know how they do this. For me, it's very boring. But can you imagine, sa araw ng paghukom, Yawmul Qiyamah, if you have to stand up for 50,000 years without the shadow, there will be no other shadow, no other shade, no tree, no bubong, no roof, nothing, only one shade. Only one thing can give you shade, the shadow. And what is the shade? The shade of the arsh of Allah. The throne of Allah can only shade you. Otherwise you have to stand up under the sun, around, for thousands of years. The one day of Yawmul Qiyamah, the next day of our next life. The first day of our next life, 50,000 years. And after that, you have to go to hellfire, or you have to go to paradise. And whatever is told in the Quran and in the Hadith, is everything is proven today. The Prophet Muhammad said that last man will go out from the hellfire because of his belief that he believes in only one God. He said, La ilaha illallah. When he will come out from the hellfire, when he will enter to paradise, his paradise will be 10 times bigger than the earth. 10 times bigger than the earth. That's the last man. And it's easy to prove today to the non-Muslims. As I said earlier, only this universe, not about the second, third, fourth heaven, seventh heaven, no. Only this universe which we can see, it contains 300 billion galaxies. And in every galaxy, there are more than 300 billion stars. And there are stars which are millions of times bigger than our earth. So can you imagine how big is the universe? What about the paradise, which is above the seven heavens? And whose width? In the Quran, Allah said, the width of the paradise is the heavens and the earth. The seven heavens and up to the earth, that is the width of the paradise. What about the length of the paradise? How big is the paradise? And how big is the hellfire? That if you throw the stone in the hellfire, it takes 70,000 years to reach to its depth. How deep is the hellfire? The word 70,000 is not actual counting. The 70,000 word is exaggeration in Arabic, to showing that it's very, very deep. Because if they say the actual word, you cannot understand it 1,400 years ago. This is a word of exaggeration that is very, very deep. That if you throw the stone, it takes very long period, it reaches to the depth of the hellfire. What is the temperature in hellfire? You cannot understand the temperature of hellfire. But if you want to understand the one simple example, the sun, the Arau, the temperature of the sun is millions of degree centigrade. Millions of degree centigrade. Millions. Can you imagine if you get the hot water, you boil it, cool off, 100 degrees centigrade, your thermometer will not go up anymore. Because after that the water will evaporate. You cannot boil it anymore. That is the maximum temperature for the water, 100 degrees centigrade. The iron, the very thick iron, the bakal, that can melt less than 1,000 degrees centigrade. 1,000 degrees centigrade you can melt the iron. What is the millions of degrees centigrade? The temperature of the sun, Arau. What about the hellfire? What kind of temperature there? So that was the one theory, the Big Bang theory. We can confirm the Big Bang theory because it's in the Quran. Even before the Big Bang theory was discovered, the Quran is already told us about that the heavens and earth were joined together, the universe was joined together, and it was expanded by Allah. We only cannot confirm the bang. We don't know if there was a bang. If there was an explosion on the start of the universe, we don't know. But when this universe will be destroyed, the end of the world, the Sa'ah, according to the Quran, there will be explosion. Made by the command of Allah, by angel Israfil. He will blow the trumpet, Sayha, the big sound, and this world will finish. And then this angel will die also. Then after how long Allah will alive this angel, and this angel will make another sound, another explosion. And this earth will come out from the earth. And the people will be saying, as mentioned in Surah Yasin, قالوا يا ويلنا من بعثنا من مرقدنا هذا ما وعد الرحمن وصدق المرسلون. They will say, woe to us, who raised us from our marqad, from our place of sleeping? We were sleeping. Who wake up us? Who bring us out? We were sleeping. So when the people will wake up, when Allah buhais arana penghukum on the day of judgment, they will feel like awake, gising, and they are waking well. Woe to us, who wake up us from our place of sleeping? Hada ma wa'ada ar-Rahman. This is the promise of Allah. Innaka la tukhliful mi'ad. Allah never breaks His promise. When He said that I will make you alive again, He will do it. If you believe it or not, Allah will make us alive. A man came to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, bringing the bones, bringing the dust. And he is a jahil, he is a mushrik. He came to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, who will make this alive, these bones and this dust again? Who will make it? And Prophet Muhammad said, Allah will. He said, who? Allah will make this alive again? Prophet Muhammad said, Na'am. Yes. Allah will do that. How easy for Allah this one? When we were nothing. Right now I'm talking. You are listening to me. We have a body and we have a soul. And use the moral science and think of that. That we were all nothing. Our body was dust in the food which our parents, which the parents eat. The mother and father eat in the food. The father produces the sperm. The mother produces the ovum. What is the source? The food they eat. The rice they eat. The wheat they eat. The fruits they eat. The meat they eat. And that produces the one cell each. And Allah created us from this. Nothing. This is compared as nothing. Why is nothing? The one sperm cell, when a man ejaculates, the quantity of the sperm, it contains 200 million cells in one ejaculation. By the man who is the sperm, it contains 200 million cells. Only one cell survives, from which Allah created the human being. And this cell is nothing. Allah said in the Quran, we created man from nothing. So we are nothing. Then Allah created us. Then why Allah cannot create us from the dust and the bones? Allah can do that. When Allah can create this big universe, Allah can create again us. Allah can create us again from nothing. From these bones and dust, Allah will create us. Even those people who burn their dead bodies of their relatives, making ashes, Allah will collect all this by His will, and Allah will make them alive. We have to be alive on the Day of Judgment. In the other concept, and before the other concept, about the bang. So we cannot confirm the Big Bang theory. The bang there we cannot confirm. But we have a two kind of bang which we know very well. The one when this universe will end, and the one when Allah will recreate us. There will be another bang. So there might be the bang when the starting of the creation of the universe. Allah knows best. The other concept in the ayah number 30, surah number 21. وَجَعَلْنَا مِنَ الْمَاءِ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ حَيٍّ. And from the water we bring out the life. Can you imagine the water? What is this water? How great is this water? In Tagalog you call it tubig. Tubig. Tubig talaga. Masyado malaki talaga. Tubig, di ba? Masyado tubig, very big. This tubig, the water, from this Allah created the life. From this Allah originated the life. And that's one of the concepts of biology, which was introduced to the world more than 100 years ago. But the rest of the continuation of the theory, we reject. The life originated from the water, no doubt about it. All the life originated from water. Even our body contains big number of water. What is the content of our body? Water. How many percent? How many percent water in our body? 70%. More than 70%. Even though we look solid, we look very solid. We doesn't look like liquid. But still our body contains 70% water. 70% water, and I said yesterday, if somebody has no understanding that really the water is alive and the water contains 70% in our body, if you cannot understand, don't drink water for 3 days. And after 3 days you will be like dry fish. Same like dry fish. Because 3 days if you don't drink the water, you will be dehydrated. And you might die even before that. And if you are a very strong man, maybe after 3 days you will survive, but you have to be rushed to hospital to put you the IV fluids. There are animals which Allah make very strong, which are even stronger than us in that matter. And the one of the animal is the camel. If you drink the water to the camel, and you ride on the camel, going to the Sahara desert, and you want to cross the Sahara desert, even you die already, but your camel will bring you home. Even after a month, without drinking water. The camel can survive even for a month without drinking water and will bring you your home. Even you already dead, but the camel can survive. And then after giving these two facts of the creation, Allah is telling, أَفَلَا يُؤْمِنُونَ, then they will not believe. That Allah is giving all the information of the universe in the Quran. But they want to disbelieve in Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, in Surah Yasin, Subhanalladhi khalaqal azwaja kullaha mimma tunbitul ardu wa min anfusihim wa mimma la ya'lamun. That glorify is He who created all the pair, which earth produces from yourselves and from which and in which you know not. So everything is in pair. Everything is in pair. The science is growing with mistakes, and they correct their mistakes. When I was in a school, which I explained yesterday, there are some other people, so I can share again if there is no problem, inshallah. When I was in the school, in the third year of my high school, my chemistry teacher teach me the wrong chemistry. And according to that chemistry, that atom is the last part of the matter. And it contains three major parts: proton, neutron, electron, and no more. But recently, there are two men, and they get the Nobel Peace Prize. And these two men, one is from America, I don't know his name, the other one is Abdul Salam. Dr. Abdul Salam. They give a theory. And I'm sure this Dr. Abdul Salam knew it from the Quran. Because Quran said Allah make pair for everything. So atom is not just the atom, there is a pair of atom. The electron is not just an electron, there is a pair of electron which is positron. The nucleus has a pair. The proton has a pair. The neutron has a pair. The nucleus has a pair. Electron has a pair. Everything is a pair. Nothing is without the pair. Even our actions is a pair. Good and bad. Thin and fat. Tall and short. Rich and poor. Everything is in pair. Only one has no pair. Allah has no pair. Walang parisi Allah. Allah is without the pair. Beside Allah, everything is in the pair. Even this current we have here, the wiring is some plus and minus. So scientists today, there are many scientists, they are already start to believing now. The first, they already start to believing there is a creator. Because the creation is intelligent, so there must be an intelligent creator. The second thing now, they are starting to believe that when everything is in the pair, our life must have a pair. Our life cannot be one. Impossible. Because in all the universe, everything is in pair. Nothing is without the pair. Whatever you can see and whatever you cannot see, it has a pair. So now the many scientists are starting to believe that this our life, it has a pair. Must have a pair. And what is our pair of our life? Ad-dunya wal akhirah. And Allah said in the Quran also, awwalahu wa akhirah. والدعاء بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والدعاء والليل إذا سجى ما ودعك ربك وما قلى وللآخرة خير لك من الأولى. And the akhirah, the next life, is better than the ula, the first life. This is ula, awwal. Akhirah is not the second but the last. Allah said the next life is the last life, not Isnain. Allah did not call it, Allah always call it Akhirah, last. Most of the time what I read, maybe it might be said second, I don't know about that. You can research, but the mostly I read in the Quran, Awwalu wa Akhirah, Dunya wal Akhirah. Like the one of the best dua, Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanatan wa fil akhirati hasanatan wa qina adhaban nar. Our Lord, give us in this dunya which is good, and in the akhirah which is good, and save us from the hellfire. So if everything which we see and which we cannot see, it has a pair, this our life must have a pair. And now the scientist is believing it by the research. There are theories already started to give in since many years. The scientists are giving a theory of a next life, that our life must have a pair. Buhay natin kailangan may paris. And the pair of our life is the next life. Even the wombs, Jan, galing tayo sa Jan ng nanay. We have another womb. The another womb is the tomb. Jan ng lupa. Galing tayo sa Jan ng nanay, papunta tayo sa Jan ng lupa. So even the womb, we have two kinds of wombs. One is the womb of the mother, and another is the womb of the earth. We have another womb to come. Everything is in the pair. This is the latest theory, but I again say it's not true. This is already in the Quran. 1,400 years ago, the Quran already said that Allah made the pair for everything. Keep on go to any science and find it in the Quran. Get any fact and start to read the Quran, and you will see it in the Quran. And the Quran is unchanged. All the science books, they need the review. They need the revision. They need to revise. Quran, no revision. No revision in Quran. Quran is ultimate. And the biggest miracle to given to any prophet is the Quran was given to Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, the biggest miracle. The miracle of the miracles. The ultimate miracle. There's a way about this beautiful topic, the Quran, Islam and science, which will continue next week and after next week. And we can encourage more people to speak. Anyone here right now, anyone here, if he is willing to speak, he can prepare his notes. And Friday can give to us, we can review it, and inshallah you can speak. If there is anything to correct, we will have it correct on Friday night. Saturday when you come here, you will get it and you will speak. So everyone here encouraged, because it is learning and sharing. Learning and teaching. This is a sharing here. If anyone wants to speak, inshallah, make your notes, bring it on Friday, and make it sure that there is no mistake. According to Quran, Hadith, everything, no problem, you can speak. If you find something wrong, which is against the Quran and Sunnah, we'll question you. We'll question you here. If you cannot answer, you cannot give the evidence from the Quran and Sunnah, then you have to back out. You have to reverse. You have to say you are mistaken. So that's how we learn. Here when I speak here, I tell everyone here, if you think I am wrong with something, question me. And if I am really wrong, correct me. Because we are not Mayaban. We have no arrogance here. Because we all are students. No one is going to say I am alim. If you say you are alim, you will go to hellfire because you are Mayaban. And the Mayaban cannot go to paradise. We are all learning. And so we say every day, we shall start with my khutbah today, Surah Al-Fatiha, Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim. That we always need the guidance from Allah until we die. And the knowledge, which is a science. The meaning of science is the knowledge. And Prophet Muhammad said that earn the knowledge from the cradle until the grave. Learn the knowledge, the beautiful hadith. Earn the knowledge, which is science. Get the science from the cradle. Cradle is when you born, you put in the cradle. From cradle until the grave.